Thank you for joining us today. My name is Gail Watson, President and CEO of Women Speakers Association, the go-to place for innovative leaders, change agents, and women with a message to connect, collaborate, and grow their visibility worldwide in order to fulfill her mission. And as part of helping her to fulfill this mission, we are very excited and pleased to introduce you to Voices of the 21st Century, a book featuring a collection of female voices rising up to guide, to educate, and inspire. And here with us today is our featured author, Pamela J., a bold, brave, and brilliant woman who shares a powerful and somewhat fun and very unique story in this book. So, Pamela, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gail. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, it's great to have you, and I just love your story because, well, it involves a tree house and living in a tree house, which is a very unique piece. So let's dive in. I mean, share with us a little bit about this story and what has inspired you to put it in as a representation of a voice of the 21st century.
Well, I think I realized that I had a beautiful opportunity to actually walk my talk, and I'm all about helping women to step out and be willing to be more visible. And no one knows better than I how to hide away for many, many years and in very, very creative ways. So I think this is a great opportunity to just call myself on that and say, am I really willing to walk my talk and to step up and inspire women everywhere to step out and be who they actually are, to discover who that is. And yes, I had a very unique experience that taught me much about that. And so would you like me to share some of that at this point?
Absolutely, because I know the treehouse has almost become quite symbolic in your life.
Absolutely. And I actually, at 59 years old, I had just reached a point in my life where I was once again saying, you know, who am I and what am I here to really, really do? And at 38, I had healed from a chronic illness in a very unconventional way. I sang in a grain silo on my historic farm, and I healed naturally from Crohn's disease, which I believe was my blocked creative expression. I had been destined to have a career as a singer and a writer, and I was blocking all that and doing what everyone else expected me to do in the world. And I think that is really how I got sick to begin with. So I did a lot of other things in my life, but at 59, I had this wonderful doorway and this wonderful opportunity to step away from my world and give myself the gift of time to explore who I really was. And I decided to consciously act out probably every woman's fantasy, you know, to go off and live kind of alone for a little while and say, who am I? And, you know, what is life and what am I here for? And I went off to the mountains of North Carolina. I knew no one. And I helped build, I actually helped design it too, a very rustic tree house where I could be as close to Mother Nature as possible, which I love nature, and she's very, very important to me because I think I'm here to help people sort of step out into there and reconnect with their own naturalness. I ended up staying there for almost 3 years, living as simply as I could, living with the biorhythms of nature, waking up when I felt like it, sleeping when I needed to, and really, really diving in deep and saying, you know, what is my inner nature? And am I pushing my way through life again? And am I going to get, you know, sick if I'm not being fully who I am? And it was a rich and beautiful time. And I began to document it. And as a writer and a singer-songwriter, I have done a lot of research on what it means to lead from our feminine energies. And I realized that's exactly what I had learned at 38 years old when I healed from my illness. Instead of pushing and fighting it, I learned to love it. and embrace it. And in that, I relaxed and became who I more naturally was, which was a healthy, beautiful, whole woman. So these experiences have taught me so much. And I know that I'm here to share these in unique and playful ways with women who aspire to be entrepreneurs and leaders and have this deep inner calling to step up. And yet they may be, like me, more introverted. And so they're not resonating with the traditional leadership models that are out there in our world. They're not feeling like they want to be rah, rah, push, drive, strive. In fact, it can make us ill. But if we can tap into who we really are and who we more naturally are, amazing things begin to unfold. And so I always say that we develop what I call a magnetic presence. Instead of trying to be an image or a big brand and a magnetic personality, we have this magnetic presence that people resonate with. And so our lives change. We begin to attract the clients that we're here to serve. Money comes much more easily, and we're happier and we're healthier as human beings.
As I was listening to your words, and what really got me was I just went to sleep when I wanted to. I ate when I wanted to. I woke up when I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
How healthy and how rich is that? That is just extraordinary. Okay, I love this experience. In fact, I'm going, oh, I wish sounds like something that would be quite intriguing to do. So tell us, I mean, clearly this has had a massive impact on your life, from giving you greater health and more creativity and really that magnetic presence that you speak about. So how is it transformed into your life in terms of, because you keep sharing that you are helping others with this?
Yes, actually, I am a voice empowerment master, and my clients are women who desire to speak up, to be seen and be heard, and be fully themselves. And so I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and women who are doing speaking, helping them to tap into what I call their heart voice. And their heart voice is this place right here, where when you tap into this and fall into this place and speak from here, people feel it. It's a very, very different energy. And in order to be able to speak from this place, you have to learn how to be a gracious receiver, which is, of course, what I was doing when I was in my silo. And it's what I was doing when I was out there in nature. I was learning to receive and allow these feminine energies to inform my doing. I always say we come from our being, which is our feminine energy, and that informs then our doing. And we've kind of had that backwards. Although I think we're tapping into that more and more as women in the world today. And it's a much more natural way of doing things. And it's a whole lot more fun. So this is what I do with people through programs. It's a very highly experiential program that I do. And I create energetic experiences that are very interactive, where we go in together and align, and through deep meditation and toning using my singing voice, I can feel where you have resistance in your body. Remember, I'm great. I'm the world's best hider-outer. So I know where you're hiding and I can feel that. And if you're willing to be seen in that way, I can help you unlock the hidden power of your heart voice so that you can align with this. And what happens is that women tend to have this remembering. It feels familiar. It reminds them of when they were a little girl. And I had a treehouse when I was a little girl at 8 years old. And so part of why I went off to North Carolina to live in a treehouse is I wanted to find that little girl who was 8 years old. I went, she was wise. She was amazing. What in the world happened to her? So I help women reconnect with, I always say, their girl in their treehouse, whatever that equivalent is to you. I help you find her. And I help you tap into that wisdom and that place of peace and openness and receiving. And when you do, magic happens.
I love it. And Your words, and I mean, I want to put this out to the listeners as well. I mean, your words are just so calming, they're welcoming, and they're powerful. Like you just
Um,
really, they want to, you're drawing me right in. You're
I-
fantastic.
well, thank you. And this is what I mirror in other people, that I think we all have this ability. If we can allow ourselves to surrender the control long enough to fall into this, we have it. It is like this a magical secret that really is no secret at all. And I know that's why I'm here, and my whole wild and crazy life suddenly makes sense. That I'm here to help at this time in history, as we are stepping into learning to lead in a fundamentally different way. And when we transform ourselves and when we tap into this, we transform leadership itself as we honor the nature of ourselves.
Love it. Pamela, who should be reading this story? Who, I mean, who's going to benefit most from this?
I, I think anybody that just deep down inside knows you are called to be a higher version of yourself than you're allowing yourself to be, right? It's scary. Yeah, it's scary. It's not for the faint of heart. But if I can do it, if I can come out of a treehouse in the mountains of North Carolina where I was living a pretty idyllic life, and if I can do it and I can step out and become visible and be willing to come on camera and share, you can too, in the way that you're guided to. So I think anyone who feels that call to lead, and yet inside she feels like she's hesitating, she's playing small, she's afraid in some way of coming out and being criticized or not pleasing others. But you know what? I think she's more afraid of something else. I think she's more afraid of not stepping up. And so those are the women I really want to speak to, because I think it is a hard thing to do by yourself. And so I work, as they call me, the doula to the divine, and or some call me the voice whisperer. But I'm here to help you find that voice and help you walk to the edge of all the light you can see, just each day, just a little each day, and be willing to take one more step. And you'll be amazed at how you begin to uncover all that you already are and all that you know you are inside. And you're here to share, and you're here to serve. You can't hide and hoard it any longer. The world needs our voices. The world needs our stories. There's wisdom in our stories, and we all have one.
I love it. And I just can't help but think of a few names running through my mind right now. And I'm sure if you're listening right now, there's names running through your mind of somebody who really needs to hear this message. And maybe it's yourself too. I mean, because there's a lot of aspects to what you're saying. I'm going, oh, I need to hear this. And Pamela, your story is powerful, and I think its biggest gift is to let somebody know that they're not alone. And what was really going through my mind at the time, I was just envisioning people, having your story and being able to gift it to another. And that would just be remarkable. So would you be willing, if people reached out to you directly to say, hey, I want a copy of this book and your story, would you be really willing to write a personal message in it to my friend?
Absolutely. And you're right, Gail. That is just one of the biggest gifts. It's that ripple effect, isn't it? So a lot of the women that I serve are women who are then in turn serving others. So absolutely I would. And I am also just very eager to meet with anyone who is wanting to come on. In fact, I am just through my website. It's www.pamelaj.com. You can reach out to me, and if there is someone that is in your life, or if it's you who would like to have a conversation with me, I really welcome that. And I actually, in addition to the book, I would also offer a 20-minute reading where I can see where you may be blocked and where you may be blocking your greatest gifts that you have within you. So these books are powerful because they are a collective of all of our stories together. And there's something that feels so magical about being in that. And these are short stories that you can pick up and read at any time in any order that you want to, because each woman has her own unique story. And I feel like I'm part of a beautiful quilt that's being gifted. Everybody has their own piece that they've added into that. And we know that when we put our energies together, magic happens. So absolutely, I would inscribe a book. That was a long answer, but I'm so excited about this.
Okay, Pamela Jay. And that was very generous of you to offer, also include that 20-minute reading. So
Yeah.
more information, check out www.pamelaj.com to get that more information. And Pamela, thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you, Gail, and thank you. The Women's Speaker Association is a beautiful, beautiful organization that is doing amazing work internationally. And one of the things that I am learning as I work with these women is that we are more alike than different. No matter where we live, we are all going through so many of the same emotions and unlearning, I call it. And it is just beautiful to know that we are not alone, that we can, all rise as we each step up and share our voices and our stories.
Oh, and thank you for helping other women do that. That's fantastic. So you are a true gift, you are a true light, and you
Thank
are
you.
making a big difference. Can't wait to share your story out. Everybody needs to read it. It's amazing. And
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Gail.
you might have to brand tree houses, though, for people, in the small home movement.
Oh yeah, I built a tiny house too, and built it on wheels, and actually converted it to a second tree house before I left. I don't know that I'll live in another tree house, but I would probably live in another tiny one. There's something beautiful about living simply, but the simplest thing is to just be who we fully are, and to learn to quiet our busy minds down. It's not necessarily the size of the house, it's just how grounded you are within it.
Nice. Okay. Thanks again, Pamela. And to our listeners, I want to thank you for joining us today. And we hope you have enjoyed meeting Pamela J. And hearing her great story. So check it out. You'll want to get to know her more. And also, please join us. I invite you to come back and join us again next week, where we meet another amazing woman share her powerful message. So thanks again for joining us, and we will see you again soon.